Hey everybody, Jam Creates here, doing another car video, so you may hear my ever-present turn signal. One of my first videos, somebody was like, that turn signal? I'm like, dude, I know, but what are you gonna do? I gotta obey the law, right? It's bad enough I'm talking to my phone while I'm driving. At least it's hands-free. So anyway, enough of that nonsense. This is going to be another quick video, nothing too long, nothing overly dramatic here, just a little something I saw online that I happened to agree with, and I thought was a pretty cool point, and for somebody like me, it definitely made a lot of sense. I saw someone point out that they feel like Marvel and DC are like the WWE and, well, at the time, WWF and WCW, and Alterna Comics is like the ECW of that era, of that 90s era of pro wrestling. And now, again, if you are not a wrestling fan, then that means nothing to you. That means absolutely nothing to you, and whatever, I'm sorry. This video probably will not connect too much with you, but I'll try to make it like something so you can enjoy it. What the commenter also said, if I can find it, I will screenshot it and put it up here so you can see it. It was something on Twitter, and God knows if I'll find it again. But anyway, the comment said, like I said, he said that Alterna is like the ECW, and Peter Semeti, the head of Alterna, is like the Paul Heyman of those days. And he doesn't know. Now, I don't know who the guy who wrote this. I don't know him personally or anything like that, so I'm not sure what his history is with wrestling. But for me, I'm somebody who went to about 1 million wrestling shows in my life. Especially, I went to a ton of WWF shows back in the day, and I also went to a ton, and I mean a ton, of ECW shows back in the day. And part of going to those ECW shows, back when they would do shows at the Elks Lodge in Queens, or so they eventually renamed it the Madhouse of Extreme, when we used to go there, we would literally go there at like 10 o'clock in the morning for a show that wasn't going to happen until 8 o'clock that night, and we would hang out outside the building all frickin' day. And we would hang out with the wrestlers. The wrestlers would all be there mad early, and they would come hang out. There was a diner right down the street. We would go sit in the diner. We sat at the table next to Terry Funk. We were having like lunch next to Terry Funk and Little Guido, and like I saw RVD walking down the street. I talked to New Jack. I talked to John Cronus. I talked to, back when they were the Gangstonators. Just lots of stuff like that. I met a ton of wrestlers back then too. I met Jerry Lynn in the bathroom. No, nothing weird happened. I just said, hey, what's up? Anyway, we used to hang out. Angry Amish Roadkill hung out with us outside the building. The Dudley Boys would come out and talk trash to everybody. They were always in character. They were a lot of fun. And so anyway, what the thing that really got me was when he talked about Peter Semeti being like Paul Heyman. It's a lot closer than you even realize, unless you're like me, we're at a lot of those shows. There was a time during the 90s when ECW was off television. They had been on, here in New York, they had been on MSG Network, and suddenly they were not on MSG anymore. They had lost their television. And if you know anything about wrestling, trying to have a successful promotion, especially back in the 90s, when not everybody had high-speed internet, so you couldn't just do internet shows, it was hard to maintain a fan following if you're not on television on a regular basis. So, literally, they were still running shows. They were still on television in other parts of the country. Like, they were still on in Philadelphia and I think parts of New Jersey and things like that, but they just weren't on in New York. And New York was one of their biggest fan bases. That place was always packed wall to wall. I'm sure we violated the fire code every time we had a show in there. But the funny thing was, okay, so they were off the air here for, a number of weeks, and they came back and they did a show, and we were at the show, and Paul Lee came out in the middle of the ring. Now, if you know anything about Paul Lee, he was always a heel. He was always a bad guy. Back from his time in WCW, he was a heel when he had the giant Zach Morris cell phone, you know, and he hit Jason Hervey in the head with it. He was always a heel. And even in ECW, he really kept more of a low profile, aside from the time when he was with 911. And even then, he was still pretty much a heel anyway. Although kind of everybody was in ECW was kind of a heel, but that's beside the point. He came out and he gave a heartfelt speech thanking every single one of us for being there and for supporting even throughout this, you know, blackout, this television blackout. But then the craziest thing, and this is how much he appreciated the fans, and this is, I think, Peter is the same way. Peter thanks everyone all the time. If you post anything about buying an Alterna comic online, Peter will thank you. And Paulie, this was really pretty amazing. They knew they were doing the show and they hadn't been on the air for a while. So what he did was he told all of us, when the show is over, don't just leave, because what's going to happen is we're going to give every single one of you that's here tonight a videotape with all of our recent shows that you haven't gotten to see because they haven't been on the air here in New York for like the past month and a half or whatever it was. So literally every single person in attendance that night, as we were crowding out of that building in that little tiny entrance, if you've ever been there, you know how it is. It's like a mosh pit getting out of there. Paulie stood in the lobby along with some of the other guys. Some of the other boys were out there too. And they were handing videotapes to every single person who was in attendance because you were still there supporting ECW. And not only did he hand out the videotapes to everybody, but he was autographing them. Him, and I forget who else it was, probably Joey Styles, I think, was there, and a couple other guys were out there too. And I have the videotape still somewhere. Stood in the lobby of that building, surrounded by this mass of people, and literally autographed every single one of those tapes, handed out tapes to every single person in attendance. Me and all my friends, we all got our tapes. Everybody got them. And it was all the shows that we had missed because it wasn't on the air at the time in New York. That's how you take care of your fan base. He didn't ask for anything. He didn't tell us, oh, you can buy a video of all this stuff you missed. No, he just handed them out. Everybody, if you were there, if you bought a ticket and you were there at that building that night, you got a tape. How freaking cool is that? That is customer service. That is fan appreciation. That is somebody saying, thank you. Thank you for being such a loyal fan and for screaming ECW and for supporting us and for being there and for telling us and telling everyone you want more ECW on TV. You want us back. You will still support us even through this hard time. You are the loyal fans. And that is what Peter Semeti does. You are out there. Right now, they're on a huge upswing, just like ECW was. They're on a huge upswing. But you know what? With a small company, things can go wrong. And they really need those fans. And they need those people to proselytize about their product to other people and to spread the good word of Alterna Comics. And Peter understands that. And so he knows you've got to thank those fans. You have to. You have to go above and beyond to thank every one of those people. Every review that I've ever posted of an Alterna comic, that dude is on there thanking me for posting a review. The creators are on there thanking me, just like the boys in ECW were thanking us fans for being there. And so whoever posted that thing, and I will try and dig it up and I'll screenshot it on the video if I can, you are so on the money. I don't think you even realize how on the money you are for that comment. And I will give you credit. I just don't have it in front of me because I'm in my car and I'm talking to my phone, so I can't use my phone to look it up right now. But 100%, Alterna is ECW and Peter Semeti is Paul Heyman. And the funny part is, they, I think, are going to even do better than ECW did. I really do. I mean, eventually ECW fell apart. I don't think that's going to happen with Alterna because Peter seems real smart. And Paulie was smart too, but Paulie was smart enough that when things were starting to fall apart, he folded into WWE and they were bought out. Peter, I think, is going to keep his ship running. I think he knows what he's doing. He's got years ahead planned. And so I think it's the truth. I really do. And I know I talk a lot about Alterna on my channel, and it is what it is. You can call me an Alterna shill if you want. That's fine. I don't get anything from them. I don't get any money from them. I don't get any free product from them. I pay for everything I get. I just get good vibes from them, and I get good comics, and that's all I really want. So anyway, if you agree with me, if you think this is a good comparison, let me know in the comments what you think. And also just for kicks, I mean, dude, if you were an ECW fan, if you went to the ECW arena in Philly, or if you went to shows at the Elks Lodge in Queens, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Like, I was at so many of those shows. I would love to hear your stories. I'll tell you, maybe one day I'll come on here and I'll just tell a bunch of wrestling stories. I'll tell the story of how Terry Funk scared the crap out of me at one night at the Elks Lodge because I thought he was going to come kill me. That's a whole different story. But anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe. If you're stumbling across my stuff, I've noticed on my stats, a lot of people are watching who aren't subscribed. Subscribe, dude. Come on, I'm cool. So hit me up, subscribe, hit me up on Twitter. I'm at @jam_creates. If you want to get at me and maybe we'll do something together. If you're on YouTube, if you're a small YouTuber just like I am and you want to maybe do something cross-promotion, crossover, across the streams and do something interesting, let me know. Hit me up, dude. My DMs are open. Let me know. I'd love to do it. It'll help grow both our channels. So that's it. Follow me on Twitter @jam_creates. I'm on Minds. I'm on Instagram. I'm on every social media pretty much. There's a Facebook page. I got my own website. I'm on Vero. Nobody's on Vero, but I'm there. I just do it for fun. I don't know, whatever. For like the 2 people that come from there, I do it. So anyway, that's all. I will talk to you soon. I'm going to go eat dinner. Peace.